there's one thing that 2020 taught us, well, there's a lot of things, but it's that it's time to step into our own power, right? We learned a lot about where we stand in our self, in our life, in our community, and where we stand as a whole, as humanity. And we did a lot of work looking at some places that needed to be looked at whether it's privilege or however you came to be in this position that you are now. So as we move into this next year, I'm really excited to see what all of that breaking open propels into. Yeah, so after all of that introspection, all that time looking inwards at who we are and what really matters in life and what really matters in our life and what really defines us, now is the chance to step into that and to continue to explore and to make it messy and to do it more and more and more. So I hope this playlist is a rendition of that. If you have a Spotify account and you want to play music while you do yoga, you can click play with me. And then we will be lying down on our backs in a supported back bend. So if you don't have a block nearby, go ahead and grab one. You could also use a pillow, a bolster. And yeah, if you want to practice music, it's in the chat box and we'll hit the play button together. Thank you for spending your New Year's Day with me. Let me just make sure. Yeah, it's in there. So go ahead and open it up. The first song should be Beach in Hawaii, and you can play it in 3, 2, 1. Hit that play button. Adjust your volume if needed, and we'll come to lying on our backs. Now you can lie down on your back first, and then have your blocks nearby or your bolster. And then lying down, lift your hips off the ground, take your blocks underneath your sacrum. Take your time to get comfortable, take your time to adjust your music, your camera, and just settle in. Close your eyes. Let your arms go wide. You can have your feet stacked beneath your knees, or you can stretch your legs out nice and long. I wish you were here with me. And I'm grateful to be here with you virtually. So take your time to arrive here. Maybe add a little sway with your hips, your head, settle in. Notice if there's any tension in your chest and your abdomen, anywhere in the front side of your body. Soften in. Start your Ujjayi breathing. Engage the back of your throat. Make the ocean sound roar from within. Let it wash over you. Finding a bit of lightness, like you're floating. Moving with the flow of life. We all learned how to deal with the uncertainty of life last year. How can we find a little play in that uncertainty, a little magic and creation by deepening your breath, bringing movement into your fingertips, your toes, then grounding into your heels, the ball mounds of your feet while you slowly hover your hips off your block or your pillow. Go ahead and move your prop aside, soften down onto the ground, and then go slow as you hold onto your kneecaps, draw your knees into your chest, and massage your back on your mat. Give it a rock side to side. Draw circles with your knees. Reverse the direction of your circles. Good. Draw your knees wide. Hold on to your feet for happy baby. Wake up your hips, your inner thighs. Feel free to stretch it out one leg at a time. Take another deep breath like that. Awesome. Now take your knees back together. Go slow as you hold onto your thighs and rock up into boat pose. Bring your big toes to touch. Your knees can be wide and have your arms floating alongside your shins. Lengthen through your spine, lift through your chest. Take a breath. Feel that exhale happening way deep down in the abdomen. Wake up the core. Breathe in a little more. Exhale, find low boat. Hover your heels, hover your shoulders. Inhale, rise back up. Squeeze the big toes to touch. Take it low, 4. Inhale, rise high. Exhale, 3, get low. Inhale, get high. Last 2 to hover. Inhale, rise. Exhale to hover. Take it high one more time. Awesome. Now crisscross your shins, press into the earth with your fingertips, and see if you can roll over onto your hands and your knees. Tabletop is where we're headed. When you get there, stack your bones, wrists beneath shoulders, knees beneath hips. Inhale, lift your chin, sway your chest, cow pose. Exhale, press and round through your spine, drop your crown. Breathe in, broaden your sitting bones wide, lift your tail, look up. Exhale, curl your cattail under, navel to spine. One more time. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. All right, now neutral spine, shoulders on your back. Pull your lower ribs in. Keep your right toes tucked under as you lengthen through your right leg. Stretch through the back of your right hamstring, your calf. Now keep the right hand on the earth as you find a twist with your left hand lifting up. Mindfully ground into your right index finger knuckle. Feel your right leg strong and straight. Push back through your heel. Turning from the low belly, twisting, lift, breathe, breathe, breathe. Now thread the needle. Exhale, left arm under right, left ear towards the earth. Right hand can travel towards the top of your mat, but keep your right hip hugging back. Breathe. Use the power you have. Everything that's rooted into the earth, press down even more. Now keep your right leg strong and straight as it is. Walk your right hand back in towards the mat by your face. You can unwrap your left hand into the twist. Keeping your heart open to the side, begin to reach your left hand back for your right foot, quad stretch, or for the psoas, the hip flexor. Kick your foot into your hand. Breathe into your chest. Awesome. Looking over your shoulder, one last breath. Coming into tabletop, hands and knees on the floor, round your spine for cat pose, reset. Awesome. Now find that neutral spine again, shoulders on the back, ribs pulling in. This time lengthen through your left leg, stretch through your left heel, your hamstring. Now keep your left palm rooted. Twist right hand towards the ceiling. Imagine your left hand can move the floor down and to the left. Turn your heart even more. Twisting from the low belly. Strong in your left leg. One more breath. Exhale, wrap right arm under left, threading the needle. Right ear towards the earth. Walk your left hand forward. See if you can look up underneath your left arm. Breathe into wherever it feels good in the upper back. One more deep breath. Awesome. Walk your left hand in, unwrap your right hand to the sky, keep the twist, breathe in, and then right hand will reach back, float your left toes, grab for the outer edge of your left foot. Try to keep your right thumb pointing up so the elbow crease is pointing away from you. Extra credit if you can lengthen through your tailbone as you add this twist and kick. Nice, one more big breath. Good, just like last time, hands and knees on the mat, press, cat pose. Sweet, neutral spine. This time, walk your hands forward a bit, tuck your toes under, lengthen through your legs. Downward dog is where we're headed. Let it feel good. Pedal out your heels. Wag your tail. Shake your head out. And settle in. Two more Ujjayi breaths. Last one. Good. Go ahead and lift your right leg high. Three-legged dog. Spread those right toes wide. Exhale, right knee to nose, shoulders over wrists. Inhale, big kick, three-legged dog. Exhale, curl knee to nose, navel to spine. One more time, kick your right leg high. Now exhale, step your foot between your thumbs. Take a little less weight in your hands. Just see if the fingertips can touch the earth, or you can use your blocks here. What I want you to focus on is that length in your spine. From your back heel all the way up to your crown, find that diagonal line. Now grounding into your right heel, hug your right hip back even more. Turn on the low abdomen, lift from the low belly, lengthen. Nice. Take one more deep breath from heel to crown. Now lengthen both legs, relax your head down, and this variation of pyramid pose, let your hips lift, and feel free to let your spine sort of round like you would in cat pose. Relax your left heel towards the floor, one more. Good, now just a pulse as you inhale, shift forward with your hips, bend your right knee, lengthen your spine. Exhale, lengthen your right knee, relax your head. Two more times. Inhale, shifting like a wave, undulating through your back. Lengthen, look forward. Exhale, shift your hips up and back. Unamas. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pyramid variation. Press your hips back. Sweet. This time as you shift forward, go ahead and move your blocks aside. Come into high plank, right foot steps back. And here we'll pause for a moment so you can also be in modified plank. Focus on your hands, spread them wide. Take up space. Ground down into the ball mounds, lifting through the low ribs, strong through your quadriceps so your legs hold themselves up. Let your heels widen slightly. One more, good breath. Exhale, slow chaturanga. Hug your elbows in as you lower, lower, lower. Find your baby cobra, tops of the feet on the mat. Keep your hips on the floor, just let your heart rise. Good. Make your way to hands and knees. As you breathe out, go slow, tuck your toes. Downward dog, exhale. Find your center, find your breath. Find the alignment in your hands. And when you're ready, lift your left leg. Breathe in, exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, big kick. Exhale, curl in. One more time, kick it high. Exhale, big step through, strong inner thighs. Simply lengthen through the spine and take less weight in your hands. Fingertips on the earth or the blocks. Feel that length from your back heel all the way up to the crown of your head, shoulders on the back. Nice. Charge up your right quadricep, hug your left hip back. Nice. Ground into that left big toe. 2 more, strong breaths. Nice. Exhale, lift your hips, lengthen through your legs. Find your variation of pyramid here. Relax your right heel. Can you feel your left big toe on the floor? Push it down a little more. Feel that stretch in the inner ankle, the inner line of the leg. Good. Now inhale, lengthen your spine, look up, bend your left knee. Exhale, shift your hips towards the sky, lengthen through your legs, drop your head. 2 more. Inhale, lengthen, shift your hips forward, look forward. Exhale. Last time from the lunge, breathe in. Into the pyramid, breathe out. Awesome. This time come into your lunge. Move your blocks aside and step forward with your right foot. Come to the top of your mat. Have the feet at least hips width apart. Take that halfway lift, light up your kneecaps. And then exhale, fold forward, drop your head. Feel free to soften through your knees. Drop into the breath. Now keep that little bend in your knees. Interlace your hands at your lower back, right by your waistband. And then slowly bend your elbows. Let your knuckles, your fists drop up and over. Keep the generous bend in both knees. Or explore lengthening just your right leg. Hug your right hip back. And keep your left chest, your left ribs still attached to your left thigh as you start to look to the right. Your fists are heavy, dropping to the left. Pulling with the left arm, 1 more breath. Good, and then both knees bend deeply as you come through center. Start to stretch through your left leg, turning your heart to the left as the right hand gently pulls the fists over towards the right side. Feel your left big toe push down, pull your left hip crease back. Whew. 3, 2, 1, sweet. Release, let your arms just collapse down. Keep your head heavy. Bending your knees, go super duper slow as you round and rise. We'll keep the arms down by our sides, just arrive. Arrive with your shoulders on your back. Shift your hips back over the heels. Spread out your toes, lift through your knees. Breathe. Arrive here in 2021. We did a lot to get to this place, and you deserve everything that's coming your way. Take another full breath. Give it back. Inhale, lift your arms up over your head. Open your elbows wide, cactus arms, and then feel your shoulders squeeze onto your back. Feel your toes push into your mat. Lengthen through your tail and start to lift your heart up for a standing back bend. Keep your quads on, keep your tail long. Strong core, low abs firing. 1 more breath. Good. Inhale, re-extend your arms over your head. Stand nice and tall, the mountain pose. For chair, send your hips back and swing your arms back behind you. Find that long spine that you did when we were in that lunge variation. Curl the tailbone slightly, shoulders squeeze, add a little bounce in your hips. 4, 3, 2. Now let's add it together. Inhale as you rise up, reach your arms up overhead, lengthen your legs. Exhale, open your elbows wide as you lift your heart, keeping quads on. Inhale, raise the roof, arms long overhead. Exhale, bend your knees, swing your arms back, airplane wings. Do that again. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Elbows wide, lift your heart. Inhale, reach your arms to the sky. Exhale, bend your knees, swing your airplane wings. 2 more times. Inhale, push down with your big toes, rise up with your fingertips. Knees squeeze as the heart lifts. Inhale, re-extend arms to the sky. Send your hips back, swing your arms back, chair shape. Last time, inhale, rise up, reach up. Open your heart, exhale. Inhale, re-extend arms to the sky. Good, sit in your chair, swing your arms back, stay in your chair, just reach your arms forward in front of your shoulders. Now, two options from here. If you wanna hit up crow pose, hands to the mat, knees to the triceps. Otherwise, go through your flow, hands to the mat. If you're in the Bakasana, big toes together, see if you can lengthen through your arms on a breath in, and then shoot it back on the breath out, Chaturanga. Inhale, lift your heart. Make your way back into downward facing dog. And take a breath when you get there. Breathe in that sweet satisfaction. Last one. Good, lift your right leg to the sky, inhale. Exhale, take the knee to the nose, shoulders over wrists. Inhale, big kick, three-legged dog. Exhale, big step through. Now find that light touch on your fingertips, lengthen through your spine, and then find high lunge. Inhale, arms all the way up, strong core. Take a moment, relax your shoulders, ground into that right big toe, turn on that left glute. Inhale, breathe. Now exhale, bend your back knee, elbows wide, cactus arms, lift your heart. Inhale, lengthen your arms and your back leg. Turbo lunge, lean your heart forward, fly your arms back, just like when we did in chair. Yeah, inhale, rise up, arms up. Elbows wide, bend your back knee, open your heart. Inhale, re-extend arms to the sky. Like you're blessing the rains down in Africa. Swing your arms back behind you, turbo lunge. Inhale, rise back up, sprinkle the arms high. Elbows wide, bend the back knee. One more time, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, dive your heart forward, fly your arms back. Inhale, rise up, high lunge. Coming into warrior two next. Exhale, spin your left heel to the mat. Nice, take your time to find your depth. Sending that right shin farther forward, keeping your knee stacked. Grounding into the outer edge of your left foot, but keep reaching that left arm back. Gaze forward. Soften your shoulders. Breathe. Sink. Option to hover your right heel off the floor if you want to explore a different shape than you might be used to. Keep pressing into the ball mound of your right foot, ground into that big toe. Maybe you keep that in the reverse as the right arm lifts up to the sky. Let your left hand drape down your back leg. Imagine I was giving you an adjustment, pulling your right shin forward as you reach back. Boy, do I miss adjustments. I'm sure you do too. Take another breath. Now let your right heel land and then we'll come into the side angle pose. I know the hips are feeling it. Side angle pose can look like elbow to thigh or right hand to the mat or the block inside of the right foot. Draw that right sits bone under. Turn your heart up, look up. Three more breaths. Check in with your left leg. Turn on all those muscles. Lift the knee, squeeze the glute. One more. Good. Then look towards the floor. Plank is where we're headed. Hands to the earth. Step back your right foot. Maybe you hovered in the air for a three-limbed plank. Chaturanga is your choice. Hug your elbows in either way. Inhale, tops of the feet on the floor. Lift your heart. Downward dog. Exhale. Take a breath. Give it back. Two more. Beautiful. Let's explore the other side. Inhale, lift your left leg to the sky. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose. Make contact. Inhale, kick it back. Exhale, go slow as you step your foot between your hands. Start with those light fingertips on the floor so you can find the length in your spine and your core. Use the exhale, and then we'll rise on the high lunge, arms overhead. Ground into that left big toe. Take your time to find your alignment, to find your center, find your balance, your boundaries. I think 2020 taught us a lot about that. Now, once you've got it, hug to the midline, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, take your elbows wide, hover your right knee, let your heart lift. Inhale, re-extend your arms overhead. Turbo lunge, swing your arms back as you dive your heart forward, shoulders pinching on the back body, rising up, arms overhead. Do it again, dip the back knee, elbows wide, heart lifts. Inhale, raise the roof, lengthen your right knee. Exhale, dive your heart forward, arms swing. Keep grounding into that left big toe. Breathe in, reach up. Open your elbows, hover your right knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, turbo lunge. Last one, inhale, rise. Exhale, elbows wide, hover. Inhale, re-extend. Turbo lunge, arms back, heart forward. Inhale, high lunge. All right, right heel to the ground, warrior two. Enjoy opening your hips to the side. Sending that left shin farther forward, one breath at a time. As if I'm pulling on your right hand, keep your ribs stacked over your hips. And then perhaps you explore hovering your left heel off the floor. Deepen the bend so you can find that stack with your knee over your ball mound. And then maybe you keep that as you reverse the warrior. Drive the left shin forward. Breathe in. And ground your left heel before you rise up, and then find your version of side angle pose. Trust the practice. Trust the process. Take it one breath at a time. Last breath. Good. Gazing down, hands to the ground. Step your left foot back, three-limbed plank. Breathe in. Three-limbed chaturanga. This, of course, is if you did it with the other side. Exhale, make your way back into dog pose. Shake it out. Get into the flow of your breath, the rhythm of your life. Have some fun as we move through this sequence, one breath per movement. All right, it's okay if you forget or if you fail, just have fun. Here we go. Inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, big kick, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it through. High lunge, here we come. Arms overhead. Elbows wide, hover your back knee. Re-extend arms to the sky. Turbo lunge, lean your heart forward, fly your arms back. Inhale, rise up. Ground your left heel, arms wide, warrior two. Option to hover your right heel as you lift your right arm, reverse, breathe in. Side angle pose is next. On the breath out, get low. Nice. Inhale will be plank pose. Lengthen your right leg back. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Touch your nose, feel it, make contact. Nice. Inhale, kick it high. Exhale, step it through. Strong inner thighs, high lunge. Open your elbows, lift your heart, hover your back knee. Inhale, re-extend to the sky. Lean your heart forward, fly your arms back, airplane wings. Inhale to rise. Warrior two, exhale. Reverse it. Maybe the left heel pops on that breath in. Exhale, side angle variation of your choice. Inhale to lengthen into plank. Take your time, cycling through. Remember, you could always come into a child's pose, kick out the chaturanga as we got one more set to go. Right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, big kick. Exhale, step it through. Make it your own, arms rise. Elbows wide, hover the back knee. Maybe the right heel pops this time. Inhale, arms rise. Turbo lunge, you know what to do. Inhale, high lunge. Warrior two. Reverse it, breathe in. Side angle pose, breathe out. Inhale, take it back, plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Last side, left leg high. Tap your nose. Kick it up. Step it through. High lunge, inhale. Elbows wide, hover the back knee. Re-extend. Turbo lunge, you got this. Finish strong, high lunge. Warrior two, breathe out. Reverse it, breathe in. Exhale, side angle pose. Inhale, lengthen to plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. Now come through your up dog and then child's pose. Knees wide, big toes together, hips on the heels, forehead to floor. Exhale. Rest in that sweet satisfaction of working hard and seeing what you are capable of. Let your hips wiggle a bit, see if that helps release them. You can shake your forehead side to side. Release the neck. Awesome. Now just come up onto your shins, come up onto your knees. We'll stretch the tops of the feet for a second here. So you can use blocks or just have your hands on the floor by your side. See if you can lean back, lift your shins off the mat, and then stretch the tops of your feet with gratitude. Thank you, feet. Cool. And then let your knees land. Walk your hands forward like tabletop, simply so you can tuck your toes under, and then we'll stretch the arches of the feet. So see if we get your hips back onto your heels. Roll your shoulders back and down a few times. Good. Keep those shoulders drawn back. Wrap your right arm across your low back. Grab your left elbow crease, and then start to reach your left hand forward in front of you just to help you traction your right shoulder back. And then left ear towards the left shoulder. Breathe into the right side of your neck. You can adjust the orientation of your chin. Just find that sweet spot. Awesome. Slowly unwind all of that. If you need to unwind your feet, that's okay, but we got one more side to go with the arms. Left arm behind the back, grabbing for the right bicep. Right hand reaching forward. Right ear towards the right shoulder. That right arm reaching forward is simply to help you pull your left arm farther back behind you. Play with the sway in your chin. Sweet. Awesome. All right, unwind all of that. Let your hands come to the mat. We're gonna come onto the feet in a forward fold. So you can kind of step the feet forward and just let them reorient themselves. Let your head hang, soften your knees. Notice how your neck feels after that stretch. You can do that bind behind your back again. See if you can release a little more, interlacing the hands behind you, squeezing the shoulder blades together as you let the fist draw overhead. Drawing the chin like you're saying yes and no. Awesome. Let your hands go. With those soft knees, slowly round and rise all the way to standing. Scoop your shoulders down your back. Pause. Stand like you're coming home to yourself, knowing who you are, knowing what's important to you, knowing what you need. This breath. Take one more to arrive. Inhale. Now stay grounded in your toes. Inhale, arms rise overhead. Setting up for eagle, wrap your left arm underneath your right arm. Spiral your forearms or grab your shoulder heads. Lift your elbows forward and up. Draw your shoulders back and down. Now move your hips back and then bend your knees forward for chair. And then go slow as you shift the weight onto your right foot. Spread out those right toes. Hover the left thigh as high as you can and then wrap it around the right. Toes can land on the ground or slide them behind your calf. Either way, squeeze your inner thighs. Draw your knees to the left, hug your left hip back. Drop the tail enough to feel your abdominals hug in, and then maybe elbows find the knees. Go slow. Finding your center. Squeezing to the midline. Hugging inwards towards yourself for 3, 2. Now very slowly start to unwrap your arms and then rise into one-legged standing pose. Lift your left knee, Eka Pada Tadasana. Still active in the inner thighs, gazing forward, take a breath in. Okay, now step your left foot behind you about one leg's distance for pyramid pose. You can have hands on hips, let your toes point straight ahead. Now I'm gonna offer here, if you have pretty flexible hamstrings, you can take your hands to your lower back, like you're doing such a camel pose, and then let your tailbone drop down as you start to lift your heart up towards the sky. And then keep your hands as they are as you begin to fold forward, coming towards your pyramid pose. Keep grounding through your right big toe. And then you can let your hands drop down as you fold inwards towards yourself, chin to the chest. Breathe. Now, one of the beauties of practicing at home, right, is you get to explore what feels good for you. You can shift a little more weight in that right foot, a little more weight in that back foot. I know we want to find equal hips, but why not play? Why not explore? What is that feeling anyway? Take 2 more deep breaths. Awesome. Let's get twisted. Lengthen through your spine. Keep your left hand down on your block or your mat directly beneath your chin. That right hand can return to your low back at first, and then just push down with your left hand to twist your heart to the right. Look up, and maybe the right arm reaches up. What are your big toes doing? Push them down. Feel that turn on the inner line of your legs. Hug your right hip back. 2 more breaths. Awesome. Now look down, take your hands to the earth, bend your standing leg, walk your hands forward, or walk near a wall for some handstand kick-up practice. So if you want to practice where you're at, you're going to keep your hands shoulder distance apart, or go to a wall and have your fingers by a wall. Let your left leg be straight, internal rotation, same thing you did in that last pose, and then bounce off your right leg. Kick your right heel towards your seat. Look at the floor a little bit forward, beyond your fingertips. Now, when you find your handstand, squeeze everything to the midline, find your center, find your core. Remember to breathe out as you kick off the ground. Think about your left hamstring doing a lot of the work to help you lift your left leg to the sky like a laser. Kick it high. Give it a try for 3, 2. Nice. We'll come with the feet on the floor, hips width apart, let your head hang, shake it off. And we'll do that slow round to rise. Awesome. We'll take a standing back bend just to reset. Take your hands to your low back. Draw your tailbone down, lean your hips forward, open the front of your hips. Good. Come back up to vertical. Exhale, drop your arms. Good. Inhale, reach up to the sky. This time, wrap right arm under left. Spiral your forearms. Elevate your elbows. Shrug your shoulders back. Take a breath. Exhale, sit back into your imaginary chair. Shift the weight onto your left leg. Wrap your right thigh over your left. Hook the toes or tap the earth. Squeeze your inner thighs. Hug the right hip back. Navel in. Keep grounding through your left big toe. Maybe you start to fold forward, elbows towards the knees. Two more breaths. Do your best. Good. Go slow. One-legged standing pose is where we're headed. Unwrap your arms, hike up your right thigh. Eka Pada Tadasana. Stick the landing. Now step your right foot behind you. Hands can come to the sacrum, that low back place with the elbows drawn in, or hands to the hips. Now lengthen through your tailbone as you gently lift your heart like you're back bending. Breathe in. Then exhale, come up through vertical, and then go slow as you fold all the way down. Your hands can slide to the ground. Hands can be on the floor or the blocks. If you're pretty long in the hamstrings, you could turn your fingertips to point the back of your mat and then let your hands extend back towards your back foot. And then explore, shift weight forward, back. Think about the thigh bone pressing into the bowl of your pelvis. What is that anyway? Be with your experience. 3 more deep breaths. Okay. All right, now find that length in your spine from your pyramid pose to your twisted pyramid pose. Right hand on the floor or the block or your foot, and then left hand can come to the low back. Press down with your right hand to help you turn your heart. Left hand can reach up to the sky if you're breathing all right. Keep hugging your inner thighs to the midlines, like the sitting bones can press into the tailbone. Awesome. Look down, walk your hands forward. Here's where you can lift your right foot off the floor. Keep the internal rotation of your right leg. Now, an alternative you could do is standing splits. But if you practice your handstands on the other side, yogis go both ways, right? Check out your palms shoulder distance apart, lengthen through your arms like cat pose in the spine, and then bounce off the ground with your left foot, kick your heel towards your seat. Use your fingers the way you use your toes, push down a lot. And if you find your handstand, the big toes touch, you squeeze your knees, you squeeze your glutes, your ribs pull in, you breathe. We'll meet in that forward fold when you're ready. Take your time to get there. Shake out your head. Very nice. Awesome. That slow rounded rise when you're ready. Go slow. Take a moment to arrive in your standing mountain pose. Yeah. Take 2 more breaths to meet yourself again. Awesome. Now just keeping those feet hips width apart, we'll pike forward at the hips. Take your big toes around your peace fingers for Padangustasana. Take a moment to lengthen your arms, your legs, your spine. Exhale, let the elbows pull wide as you draw your chest towards your thighs, chin towards your chest. Notice your big toes smushing your fingers into the floor, and then your fingers pulling up against those big toes. Let that help you lean your hips forward a little more. Good. And then just let your toes go. Step into the dog pose, or if you feel like moving through vinyasa, you're welcome to do that and meet us here. Once you find that dog shape, lift your right leg, open your hips to the side, bend that right knee. Good. Heading into pigeon pose, draw your right shin forward, knee towards the right wrist, toes towards the left. Stretch back through your left leg, your pinky toenail can touch the floor. Take a breath as you lift your chest. Now you can stay up lifted if you feel more stretch in this shape, or take it low. Stack your fists beneath your forehead, or use your blocks. Try to keep your right foot active, that Barbie doll floint. Curl your toes back, press through the ball mound. Avoid the sickle of the ankle. Exhale. With every breath in, find a little more length in your spine. And every breath out, fall a little farther down. All right, now go ahead and rise up. We're gonna lean onto that right hip so you can pull the left heel in towards the outer left glute. So your knees pointing away from you. I would say perpendicular to your mat, and that way you can lengthen through your right leg. So that's the goal. If you can lengthen that right leg forward, the angle between your 2 thighs can be closer if it's more challenging to sit up straight, but you get more stretch if you can find this 90-degree angle. Now straighten through your right leg, flex your ankle, Take your right hand inside of your right thigh and then slowly do like a side body stretch. So you can let the right elbow come inside the right thigh as your left arm drapes up and overhead. Some of you might be able to touch your right toes with your left fingertips. And if you're one of those people, then you can weave your right forearm underneath your left thigh and try to catch your left shin. So you're giving yourself a bit of a bind here. Either way, see if you can use that connection between your right side and your right thigh to help you spiral your left ribs open. Okay. Now I'm going to give you guys an option to come into your full splits if that's something you want to work into this year. So you're already halfway there with that right leg. You can lean into that right thigh, stretch your left leg back, and if possible, tuck your left toes under as you square off your hip. Now, ideally, it feels the way it felt in that pigeon pose, where you can untuck the toes and feel the left pinky toe on the floor. Stay active through both feet, pressing through the ball mound. And then like you can pull that right thigh bone into the hip socket, like the left thigh bone can press the hip forward. Perhaps the arms rise. Find your breath. 2 more. Awesome. However you want to get out of this pose, we'll meet in a dog or 3-legged dog. Option to press your hands into the mat and thread your right leg through your arms and then lifting right leg to sky, open the hips, and perhaps a wild thing if you like. If you're in the wild thing, take your time to come back around. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Notice the difference between your 2 sides. Try to find some balance in your palms, in your feet, in your breath. And then we'll lift the left leg, breathe in. Open your hips, stack them. And then find your pigeon pose with your left shin behind your wrists. I like to put my foot on the floor first, find the floint in the foot, and then let my knee find its spot laterally across from that. And then from there, you can learn to lengthen through the right leg, turning the toes in a bit. Staying lifted for a moment. Feel that stretch in the front of your right hip. You can stay up high if that feels nice, or walk it out. Stacking your hands perhaps, or using your block. Drop into your breath. Exhale. Find a little more space on the breath in. And a little more softness on the breath out. Two more breaths. Now slow to rise. Lean onto your left hip. Pull that right heel in. And then let your left leg go long. Now an alternative can also be Janu Sirsasana, where the foot's in the inner thigh hamstring. So you could be like this if that's easier on your knee. Otherwise, here we are. Left hand inside the left thigh, like a side body stretch, right arm overhead. Use your left elbow or your left hand to help you push your left leg away. Maybe you catch your toes. The shoulder of your left side can snuggle inside your left thigh. Maybe your left hand sneaks underneath your right thigh and then finds your ankle. Using the binds to help you turn your right side up. Beautiful. Now take your time to come up out of that, and we'll have our opportunity to explore the full splits or what that looks like for you today. It's always good to know where you're starting from. So your left leg's already in place, and kind of lean onto that left side to lengthen your right leg behind you. And again, let your hips lift as you tuck your right toes under and do your best to keep them tucked as you swivel your right knee towards the mat. And then you could untuck the right toes. Remember, you could have your hands on blocks. You could have a block underneath your left thigh even. If you're in the full splits, feel that right pinky toenail on the ground. Scissor hug the inner thighs, arms rise. Maybe the hands come together as you look up. Nice. Breathe. Beautiful. Go slow, hands to the mat. If you did this transition last time, we'll tuck the right toes, thread the left leg through the arms, three-legged dog, left leg to the sky. Stay there or find wild thing. Make it your own. We'll meet back in the dog pose. Exhale. Here's your chance to practice your jump through if you wish. You can tent your fingertips, bring your feet together in down dog, lift your heels, look forward, bend your knees a lot, and see if you can hop your feet through your hands, have a seat. Lengthening through your legs, little bend in your knees, pull your sitting bones back from underneath you, Dandasana. Take your hands to the earth by your sides. Grow tall through your crown, staff pose. Press through the ball mounds of your feet and maybe the legs get straight, maybe not. But use your quads either way, like you want to push your thigh bones into the floor. Yeah. And then lift your arms up overhead, breathe in. Fold forward, breathe out. Feel your spine grow long, breathe in. Fold forward a little more, breathe out. 4 more breaths. 3. 2. 1. Sweet. Come all the way up. Let your blocks come by if you happen to have them today. And then bend your knees, scoot your hips forward. Go slow as you lower down onto your spine. Let your knees come in when you get there. And similar to how we started, do a little rock. Massage your back into the mat. We started in a back bend, in a heart opener. This vulnerable shape. And notice how you are now. Now we'll set up for a twist. I'm going to offer eagle style. So if you want to try that version with me today, cross your right thigh over your left. If you want, you can hook your toes underneath your calf. Then lift your butt, scooch it to the right a little bit, and then let your knees come all the way over towards your left armpit. So curl in really tight as you twist. And then the left arm can weigh down the right thigh. Lay on your back. Option to let the right arm come up by your ear, or take your right arm open to the right. Relax your leg muscles. Relax your back muscles. Soften your jaw. If you're in this eagle variation of the twist, please untangle your ankles and your knees before you come back to center. And then we'll slowly find our way to the other side. You can rock a little side to side at first. And then we'll take left thigh over right, maybe the toes hook behind the calf. Scoot your hips to the left an inch or two. And then twist your knees over to the right. Well, if the eagle twist is a little intense, you can have your knees just stacked, one on top of the other. What I like about the eagle twist is your legs weigh each other down. So you could relax your muscles in your inner thighs. We use those a lot. The quads, the hamstrings, we did it all. Gazing to the left with your chin to the left. Feel your exhales get heavier. Good. When you feel balanced out, you can unwrap your legs, coming back to center. Hug your knees in. Now, the reason I asked you to grab your blocks, if you have blocks, is so you can rest in Supta Baddha Konasana. So you're welcome to take your feet together and your knees wide and put your blocks underneath your thighs. If you don't have blocks today, that's okay. You could do Shavasana with your legs straight, or you could do this pose without the blocks. But if it feels a little tender at any point, you can relax your legs long. And then where do you want to place your hands? You could place them below the belly button if you want to connect with your grounding, creation, or on the heart space, the solar plexus, to tap into your potential, your personal power. Relax through your jaw, your eyes, your tongue. Receive all the benefits of your practice. I invite you to rest here as long as you need. One of the things we learned from 2020 is how important it is to slow down. So feel free if you want to take your earbuds out and just ignore me. Stay relaxed as long as you need. When you're ready to reawaken, do so with purpose. Breathing in deeper and deeper. Waking up, toes and fingers. Letting your movements grow organically, rolling around your wrists, straight up, stretching through your limbs. And only when it feels right, rest on one side for a few breaths. Give up the effort. Relax, receive. Moving as slowly as you can, press with one hand yourself up to a seat. You keep the eyes soft as you gently cross your legs and draw your hands together in front of your chest. Taking a moment to acknowledge yourself. You made it through 2020. Take a deep breath. Let it go. And as you draw your prayer up to your forehead and bow inwards towards the earth, send a little blessing out there to your future self and to everyone else. An intention, a well wish, a hope for yourself or for humanity. Knowing that you matter and you are a part of it all. After you've sent your blessing, please rise. The light in me honors the divine light within you. Namaste.